Okay, well, hello there, and welcome to the Quarter Hour with your host, Sid Yiddish. It's week 5 and a new month, September 1, 2020. Um, Fall is a few weeks off. Rosh Hashanah, for the those who celebrate it, partake it, is about 2.5 weeks away. So we're coming in full speed. And speaking of full speed, I have quite a show for you tonight. Let's see. So yesterday I had this really great meeting, two of them, with two good friends, and I'll talk about that in just a little bit. Both artists, both great friends. But I'd like to start this show off with some poetry, first by me. And this one is called Untitled. It's just untitled. Affirmity. Slow down. Not so fast. Speed. It kills. Pushing it kills. That's it. Pretty short one. And I would like to do this longer piece. It is actually instructions, which was actually read on James Gauthier show on Thursday nights from 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Mountain Time, and these are actually it's instructional poetry. So 6 short ones. First one's called Left Sock Piece. Slip your left sock off your left foot. Put it in your left hand. Examine it carefully and smell its cleanly odor with your left nostril only. Place your left sock on your right foot over your right sock. Step lively. Cement teeth piece. Lay teeth flat on a table. Brush and floss them. Call a dentist up and tell them. Smile. Hello Kitty Pez piece. Place dispenser in upright position. Push white dispenser slide upward. Insert rectangular Pez inside. Bite into and swallow. Instant cavities. Just scrolling a bit here. This one's called Yardstick Piece. Measure space elevation of determination. We are unable to breathe. And this is called Yellow Paint Brush Piece. Grip yellow paint brush. Between left thumb, index, and middle fingers. Paint an imaginary cloud. Dip in water. Rinse and repeat. All right. And now I would like to read from this book I have. I will show you this. This is The Joys of Satanism. It's by my good friend Shane Bugbee. He was one of the fellows that I got to see yesterday. It's always a pleasure to see Shane Bugbee. I'm glad he's back home in Chicago. I'm very glad he's back home. So this is something called Limping Predator. Petty predator, insecure predator, worst of the predators, limping predator, insecure you, feed off the weak. Remember, you are what you eat. Insecure predator, feed off the weak. Work week blues, and you are what you eat. The insecure predator, a stronger sheep. The insecure Satanist, is a dangerous, diseased, ill and rabid animal seeking occult ritual to lean upon to extract emotions. The ill cannot emote. Next page. To suck energy from all around them. A desperate act of survival in visceral style. The insecure and damaged should go elsewhere for help. Satanism as self-help isn't a help. Seek help. And I would like to feature, I'd like to put this in. There's a poet that he's no longer with us in Chicago. His name was Eddie Two Rivers. And this is his book, A Dozen Cold Ones. I'll show it to you right there. Square, copy of that. And I'd like to read a poem from his book. And this one is titled Wetlands. The northern prairie slides past, invaded by development, where ponds once sparkled beautiful, like a million shimmering icons, rich in the sunlight, dancing to the wind's whispered lullaby. The prairie winds that kiss softly my brown face ask in an accusing voice, is mankind destined to repeat old sins? I taste the air, hot and dry. The frog's evening serenade has become a whisper that haunts my being. Only the mechanical drone of a fan breaks the silence. I feel a turmoil of emotions. A sadness flushes through my native veins. And the last poet I'd like to read tonight is my good buddy Wesley Hine, from his unpublished book called Sugar Skull Poems / Flash Fiction. Wes used to live here for many, many years, and then he moved westward. He lives in Los Angeles now. And so I'd like to read this poem. It is called My Soul. There was always a sense of competition between JT and I. When I first came to town, JT felt that his spot in the gang of outsiders was threatened. Out of all the scraggly clump of heavy metal kids in middle school, JT and I were the only ones who tried in class. The others blew off academics as part of the world which was to be rejected. JT and I tried to do well, determined to be book smart as well as street smart. We knew that the rules in school were bullshit, but the knowledge was usually genuine. In fact, books were the only way to escape the little town. It was the late 1990s, and The Simpsons was the only show on TV that told the truth. There was a classic episode where Bart disputes the existence of the soul and sells it to Milhouse by writing on a plain piece of paper, "This is Bart Simpson's soul." After the episode aired, I told the guys that I would do it. If anyone had some cash, I'll fork it over my soul. We were sitting in geography class, and everyone checked their pockets. JT was the highest bidder. He had a $5 bill. So I drafted up the contract. Wesley Hine's soul goes to JT for $5. JT seized the piece of paper and folded it neatly in his shirt pocket. Soon JT was different. By high school, he stopped wearing Metallica t-shirts. He began listening to rap instead. He tried his hand at drug dealing and got a pager. He still tried at school, but his grades began to slip. By the time he moved from dealing weed to coke, JT was totally transformed. He began wearing all white tracks, suit, white shoes, and a white baseball cap cocked to one side. He wanted to be called JT Money. He would pull out his bills and count them at you. We would call him JT Phony behind his back. He got this pleasant but preppy girl, Rebecca, on the white stuff. She got more dizzy and looked more and more like a skeleton. Last I heard, he moved to heroin. Got busted and did a stint in the state pen. Now I'm a superstitious person. Now I'm not a superstitious person. Otherwise, I would have never sold my soul for $5 in the first place. But at dark times, in the throes of my own struggles with alcohol and adult life, it has crossed my mind to ask JT for my soul back. I mean, it couldn't hurt, but considering how much worse he has had it since we were kids, I think I will be better off if JT kept my stinking soul. I've long since spent the $5. And this is a poem, another poem called Duster. I've had the shakes. I've puked blood. I've stayed up all night waiting for the acid to wear off. I've huffed gas and saw spots turn to little green men. I've smoked joints soaked in pen ink for some reasonless reason. Or the night I overdosed on cocaine and sat in a cold shower holding my chest, eating a can of creamed corn. But there was only one time that I really felt scared, where I thought I might actually die. I went through the curtain into the attic bedroom. The walls were hand-painted and the floor green shag. A girl with a shaved head, Melanie, had a can of Duster wrapped in a towel. Duster is the shit office people spray to clean their keyboards. She inhaled, and her usual soft female voice came out like a low Barry White. She said no words, just womp womp womp. Then she laughed like it was the first laugh of a child. She passed the can to Nigel, who explained, "It changes the destiny of your vocal cords." He took a hit and passed it to Caleb. I took up my small digital camera and started filming. Anthony came into the room and swiped my camera away as I took the can of Duster. I placed a towel over it. I found one of the last dry spots. Have to be health conscious, you know. Flipped the nozzle and heaved in the chemical. I inhaled a long time. I didn't know how long to take the hit. Nigel prodded, "Oh man, Wes is going to fucking trip." Anthony turned the camera on me. He started filming me and rhymed, "Wes always thinks he's the best. Watch him go." With my one free hand, I flipped him off and then tried to grab the camera back. He resisted, and I let up from the Duster can. Just then, Caleb stumbled by and fell flat on the coffee table, spilling cans and ashtrays. A sharp, cold sting rose through the center of my brain. Someone was feeling vintage and was playing Alice Cooper on the record player. In a moment, it didn't matter because the music was soon unrecognizable. All the sounds in the room began to feed back inside my brain. The tones took on a monotonous insect drone pulsing without form. My right and left brain seemed to cross wires, scattering the soundput. I finally did it, I thought. I finally broke something. This doesn't feel like it will go away. According to the footage, I stood up and said, I feel like I'm going to die. I grasped at the camera again, but Anthony held tight. I flopped back in the easy chair I had been sitting in and said, "Well, if I'm going to die, you might as well film it." I slid my fingers over my face and then looked up and smiled. The effects of the Duster began to wear off. Nigel looked up from picking up Caleb's fall and asked, "You all right, Wes?" "Yeah, I'll be all right." "Oh, good." Then in a game show announcer voice, Nigel said, "You handle inhalants well." I don't handle anything well," I said. Anthony looked for the off switch on the camera. "How do I stop this?" he asked. I asked, How do you stop what? How do you stop this? Our vocal cords froze. The question fed back, meaning crossed wires. Then everyone laughed. Wes always writes prolific poems. It's the one thing I really need to say about him. He really writes prolific poems. He really, really does. A lot of substance, a lot of deep meaning. He's a good guy. So, yesterday, I met with another guy, and his name is Ed Patterson. And he's a painter. He's the inventor, or the originator, I guess you'd say, of the strip painting movement. And so I got involved with him in kind of a, I don't know, I'd just say a different way. He advertised on Craigslist. He was looking for a model, a religious model, someone who looked like Abraham, as in Abraham, in biblical sense. And I also got my friend Jason Cavelli involved. He became Noah because he looks just like Noah in real life. He's got an ark, but not necessarily the kind of ark that I want to talk about. Anyway, we went to this, the next level, and we went to the dunes. This was back in October, I want to say it was like early October of 2012. I think he states it differently, but he may not remember. Sometimes those things are just a blur. Anyway, it took maybe a year to do Jason's painting, but mine took nearly 7 years. And just recently, Ed finished the final painting. There's 10 paintings in the entire series, so it's been a little over 8 years. So last year, he published a book. It's called Painting the Bible Story, and this is the book right here. You see that? And it's it's published on BarnesandNoble.com, I believe. And I am in 2 chapters. I'll show you a photo, if I can, from the book. This is the original, one of the original photos, which this is sort of like an original. This one, if I can show it to you. Let's see if it comes up. Yeah, right there. There you go. And that's me. And this other photo I want to show you is sort of, so I'm in 2 chapters, 14 and 19, but I want to show you this other photo if I can. Let's see if I can find it here. Oh, so this photo is where he got the inspiration. I was just in the parking lot, kind of fooling around with one of the other models, and this is where he got his inspiration to take the photo that he took of me. So I'll show you this photo. See how close I can go. Maybe I can go right there. Do you see it? Let's see. Do you see the photo? Let's see if I can get close there. Bring it up as close as I can. That better? So that was the model. The original model. She was a female angel. And she was a female angel. And according to the church, the church was going by the book, so to speak, in terms of the Bible. And so they X'd out the female angel, and he had to go back out again and seek a male angel. So primarily, that's why it nearly took about a year or so. And then when he went through the painting, he had to keep rehiring assistants and teach him his strip paint method. So that's why it took nearly 7 years. I only received a copy of the painting in December. and hoping to find a place in my apartment to put it up. Though I have to say my place is so small I can't put anything up. Anyway, it's a great book that I will get to eventually. But as so it says, so as it goes, you know. So I wanted to show you something. I was cleaning in my apartment. That's always a rarity when I clean. I think Gru Shackelford knows what I mean. So one of the things I found when I was looking for things, these are photo stills of Mandy Patinkin, and many of you might know Mandy Patinkin, actor, local boy. And so I found all these stills of Mandy Patinkin that I've been sent when I used to write for the Jewish Star here in Chicago. So I'd like to show you some of these photos. So this is the still shot of Mandy Patinkin. That's Mandy Patinkin. And this is Mandy Patinkin and Madonna in Dick Tracy. And this is from The Princess Bride. And this one is from Yentl. And this one's from Alien Nation, and he's with James Caan here. I once saw James Caan in Hollywood. He was driving his car, or maybe that was James Woods. I can't remember. And this is from The Doctor. And that's all I have for Mandy Patinkin. But I'll find some more stuff in my apartment. I do clean once in a while, or things fall out from in the middle of nowhere. So, with the time I've got left, I'd like to do a story. It is story time here. And so I'd like to do this book. This is a Dr. Seuss book, and it's called Oh, Say Can You Say? Terrible Tongue Twisters. And there's the book. I'll try to bring it close for you. So this is called Oh, Say Can You Say by Dr. Seuss. And there you have a mountain goat, right? Oops, let me see if I can do that. Okay. This is for Lee Gru, the Annunciator. Said a book-reading parrot named Hooey, the words in this book are all phooey. When you say them, your lips will make slips and backflips, and your tongue may end up in St. Louis. There he is right there. Do you like fresh fish? It's just fine at Finney's Diner. Finney also has some fresher fish that's fresher and much finer. But his best fish is his freshest fish. And Finney says with pride, the finest fish at Finney's is my freshest fish, French fried. So, don't order the fresh or the fresher fish at Finney's if you're wise. You'll say, fetch me the finest French fried, freshest fish that Finney fries. Here's the photo there. That is tough to say. I guarantee you. I am. We have a dinosaur named Din. Din's thin. Din doesn't have much skin, and the bones fall out of his left front shin. Then we have to call in Pinner Blinn, who comes with his handy shin pin bin And with a thin blin shinbone pin, blin pins Din's shinbones right back in. So there is Din's shin right there. Oops, sorry. There is Din's shins right there. Gotta go this way, that way. Bed spreaders spreads on beds. Bread spreaders spread butters on breads. And that bed spreader better watch out how he's spreading, or that bread spreader's sure going to butter his bedding. And there we go. And there's a photo. As he gobbled the cakes on his plate, the greedy ape said as he ate, the greener green grapes are, the keener keen apes are to gobble green grape cakes. They're great. Are you having trouble in saying this stuff? It's really quite easy for me. I just look in my mirror and see what I say, and then I just say what I see. And so here's ape cakes, grape cakes. Okay, so here it is. You can see that. Sorry, I don't mean to do that to you. There you go. There's the other photo, like that. Now let's talk about money. You should leave your grox home when you travel by air. If you take him along, they charge double his fare. And your grox must be packed and locked up in a grox box, which costs much, much more than a little old fox box. So it's heaps a lot cheaper to fly with your foxes than waste all that money on boxes for groxes. And what do you think costs more? A simple thimble or a single shingle? A simple thimble could cost less than a single shingle, would I guess. So I think that the single shingle should cost more than the simple thimble would. And here's the grox box, as you can see right there. And there's that single shingle. So, if you like to eat potato chips and chew pork chops on clipper ships, I suggest that you chew a few chips and a chop at Skipper's Zip Clipper Chip Chop Shop. And if your tongue is getting queasy, don't give up. The next one's easy. So, here's the photo. You can see it right there. I gotta say, this story is not easy, but that's okay. There are so many things that you really should know, and that's why I'm bothering telling you so. You should know the first names of the Fudd Nuddler brothers, who like to pile each on the heads of the others. If you start at the top, there are Bipper and Bud, and Skipper and Jipper, and Jeffrey and Judd, Horatio, Horace, and Hendrix and Hud, and then come Dinwoody and Dinty and Dud, also Fitzsimmon and Frederick and Fudd, and Slinky and Stinky and Stewart and Stud, and down at the bottom is poor little Lud. But if Lud ever sneezes, his name will be Mud. And there they are, they're all piling on top of each other. We have quack, quack, we have two ducks, one blue, one black. And when our blue duck goes quack, quack, our black duck quickly quack, quack, quacks back. The quack blue quacks make her quite a quacker, but black is a quicker quacker backer. And speaking of quacks reminds me of cracks and stacks and sacks and shacks and schnacks. So, oh, say, can you say, I have cracks in my shack, I have smoke in my stack, and I think there's a schnack in the sack on my back. So here are those ducks, and I think there's a schnack in the back somewhere. There we go. Upon an island hard to reach, the east beast sits upon the beach. Upon the west beach sits the west beast. Each beach I'm sorry, I'll start again because that was the timer, because it is now the second quarter hour, but we'll go a little bit more so I can finish this book up. Upon an island hard to reach, the east beast sits upon his beach. Upon the west beach sits the west beast. Each beach beast thinks he's the best beast. Which beast is best? Well, I thought at first that the east was best and then the west was worse. Then I looked again from the west to the east. I liked the beast on the east beach least. And here they are. Here's the west beast and the east beast. As you can see them. There we go. So this is called Peter Pat's Pigs. Peter Briggs Pat's Pigs. Briggs Pat's Pink Pigs. Briggs Pat's Big Pigs. Don't ask me why, it doesn't matter. Pete Briggs is a pink pig. Big pig patter. I'll read that again. Pete Briggs is a pink pig. Big pig patter. Pete Briggs pats his big pink pigs all day. Don't ask me why, I cannot say. Then Pete puts his patted pigs away in his Pete Briggs pink pigs big pigs pig pen. I think it gets easier after a while. Maybe not. So this is Fritz needs Fred and Fred needs Fritz. Fritz feeds Fred and Fred feeds Fritz. Fred feeds Fritz with ritzy Fred food. Fritz feeds Fred with ritzy Fritz food. And Fritz, when fed, has often said, I'm a Fred fed Fritz. Fred's a Fritz fed Fred. And there's Fritz and Fred feeding each other, as you can see. So this is called How to Tell a Klotz from a Glotz. Well, the glotz, you will notice, has a lot of black spots. The klotz is quite different with lots of black dots. But the big problem is that the spots on a glotz are about the same size as the dots on a klotz. So you first have to spot who the one is with the dots is, who the one with the dots is. Then it's easy to tell who the klotz or the glotz is. So these are the klotz and the glotz. So I don't know what the difference is, but maybe someone out there can tell me what the difference is. Wait, I'll just put it back here. There they are. The klotz and the glotz. This is called What Would You Rather Be When You Grow Up? A cop in a cop's cap, or a cupcake cook in a cupcake cook's cap, or a fat flapjack flapper in a flat flapped jack cap. Or if you think you don't like cops' capes, flapjack flappers, or cupcake cooks' caps, maybe you're one of those choosy chaps who likes kooky captain's caps, perhaps. And so here's a cop and a flapjacker, and then those people that wear those kooky, there we go. I'll move that up here. There we go. I'll get it right, don't worry, there we go. And I'll move that one back here. You know, those people that wear those kooky caps, I think I identify with them more. More about Blinn. Well, when Blinn comes home tired from his work, pining shins, the happiest hour of old Blinn's day begins. Mr. Blinn is a father of musical twins who, tucking twin instruments under twin chins, lull their daddy to sleep with twin Blinn violins. And oh, say, can you see, far away in Berlin, a musical urchin named Gretchen von Schwinn has a blue-footed, true-footed, trick-fingered, slick-fingered, six-fingered, six-string tin Schwinn mandolin. And there's old man Blinn All right, there's Old Man Blinn catching some shut-eyed, and there's that big old mandolin. Rope, soap, hoop soap. If you hope to wash soap off a rope, simply scrub it with scrope. Scrope is so strong that no rope is too long. But if you should wish to wash soap off a hoop, I suggest that it's the best to let your whole silly souped up hoop soak in soapy Cooper's super soup off hoops soak suds. And here is the soap, as you can see. I'll do it this way. So there you go. And we'll go down here so you can see that with the hoop. Merry Christmas mush. One year we had a Christmas brunch with Merry Christmas mush to munch, but I don't think you'd care such. Do that again. But I don't think you'd care for such. We didn't like to munch mush much. And there is Santa on the fireplace. Personally, I don't care about Christmas either way, but for some people, it's their entire world. So, and speaking of Christmas, here we are, some great gifts to give to your daddy. If your daddy's name is Jim, and if Jim swims, and if Jim's slim, the perfect Christmas gift for him is a set of Slim Jim swim fins. But if your daddy's name is Dwight, and he likes to look at birds at night, the gift for Dwight that might be right is a bright Dwight bird flight night sight light. I know many bikers that have the same light. So there is Slim. Whoops, sorry. I'll do it this way. This is Slim Jim, and this is that infamous bike light, or not bike light, but this is the same light that a lot of bikers probably have. Maybe miners too. But never give your daddy a walrus. A walrus with whiskers is not a good pet, and a walrus which whispers is worse even yet. When a walrus lisps whispers through tough, rough, wet whiskers, your poor daddy's ears will get blispers and bliskers. And that's almost enough of such stuff for one day. One more and you're finished. Oh, say, can you say? And here's the walrus. And this is the little bird kind of walking away. So you can see. The storm starts when the drops start dropping, when the drops stop dropping, then the storm starts stopping. And that is the end of the book. Looks like it says here we're having trouble playing this video. And so in the event that you can see me, I would just like to say to you all, thank you so much for watching. And next week, I will be doing the show on a Wednesday night because Tuesday is kind of booked. I have a technical rehearsal next week. I'll tell you all about that next week, what this technical rehearsal is. Actually, I'll probably tell you a little bit earlier, maybe on my Facebook page. But for those of you who watched, I want to thank you very much. And until next time, which will be next Wednesday at 7 o'clock. It'll go back to Tuesday the week after. This is Sid Yiddish signing off. I'd like to wish those of you who are in the evening to have a great evening. And those of you in the morning, if you're in the morning, have a great morning. And if you're in the afternoon, I would like to wish a great afternoon to you. And until then, I'd like to say good night to you all, and God bless you. I will see you very, very soon. Bye for now.